empty heart is always looking for love and acceptance, but in the wrong place. So I always have someone with me when I actually need to be alone and need to focus on God. Nobody tell me at that time when I was young and foolish. So I confessed to him everything, and he was taken aback.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
shocked.
Not even a month, mate. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Pruning for Fruitfulness Part 2, where we invite God to every part of our story, even the part that we rather hide, and finally to be able to experience healing only comes from Him. So, today's topic is tender, but it's very important sexual inventory. And with me again today is my friend, my mentor, and the author of this study, Mimi. Welcome and thank you, Mimi, for walking us through this whole process
My pleasure
on
always.
this very sensitive topic. So let's start with the why. Why do we need to take inventory of our sexual history as part of this process?
So yeah, Um, the reason it is important, great, because taking this inventory for our sexual history from the past is very crucial. Why? Because it is impacting our spirit, our
Mm,
body, our mind, identity, and our relationship. And through this process, we will gain a clear awareness, self awareness, how any sinful activities that we have done in the past have damaged our soul and spirit. And we will also be able to identify some sinful pattern in ourselves that we probably aware of, not aware of. And in doing that, actually, we kind of like, when we do this inventory, we have to expose our idol,
mm,
right? When we expose our sin, it's actually we are exposing our the idol of our hearts as well.
mm, mm, mm. Okay. So, what is the purpose of this specific inventory?
Mhm. The purpose is basically to receive God's healing
Mm,
and to receive His mercy, forgiveness, and to uh, experience His grace for us. In evaluating our sexual history, we need to use God's standard. We cannot use the world standard. For example, for some people, heavy petting is just okay. It's okay. It's not sex, or oral sex. To some people, young people say this is so common. It's not sex. We can do intercourse, but then in God's eyes, in God's measurement, it's all sexual sin.
mm,
Anything that is done outside of the boundary of marriage are sinful in God's eyes. So God created sex for the purpose of intimacy,
mm,
oneness, pleasure, and reproduction.
mm,
And God designs us as sexual beings with desires for intimacy. However, due to our sinful nature, these sexual desires can be corrupted into sinful behaviors.
mm,
So, since sex involves more than just the body, when people said that it's only physical, it's not true. Sex is only physical. No, it's not true.
mm,
It involves our spirit, our soul, our mind, everything that is within us. So when the joining of two souls together, but then they don't get married, right? And then they broke up. So basically, it is that every time we broke up with someone who we had sexual intercourse, it's like thinning our soul.
mm.
Um, I did
Thinning also.
thinning our soul. I didn't bring it today, but usually when I teach about this topic,
Yeah.
I usually bring a object lesson,
Okay.
pink paper
Yeah.
and then blue paper,
Uh huh.
and then I glue it
Okay.
using a strong glue. The the stronger the sexual involvement, the stronger is the glue,
Okay.
right? The sexual activity is the glue, it together and leave it for probably 24 hours.
Yeah.
The next day, try to separate it. Try to separate the blue paper and the pink paper. What happened?
Yeah. It's probably rip apart, or now I know, thinning. Yeah, because the paper can get thinner,
Yes,
not exactly torn.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what happened when we had sexual activities with a person that is not our spouse
Yeah.
and we broke up.
Mm.
Yeah, we were young and foolish. We did that, but then we need to process it. It will be there always. We just basically bury it under the ground
Yeah.
and we need to process it so that we can receive healing for the thinning of the soul, for the damage that has been done, that has been ripped apart because of the sexual activities
Yeah.
that is designed for marriage. So that therefore, God established boundaries for sexual intimacy,
Mm.
limiting that activities to the context of marriage between one man and one woman.
Mm.
God never endorsed sexual activity of any kind outside of the covenant of
Mm.
marriage.
Mm. Mm.
And God also warns us not to get involved in any sexual sin, many of them. And sex is to be enjoyed in a marriage covenant between a man and a woman. It is an exclusive relationship between a husband and a wife,
Mm.
and sex between a husband and a wife, it's considered holy and healthy. It's called a holy sex. There is such a thing, holy sex, which is uniting the husband and wife to become one flesh, a
Yeah.
unity,
Mhm.
which is not selfish, not harmful, and not degrading.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
that is why I think the purpose is that to go back into our past
Yeah.
and go through again our sexual history and um and then if there is something that we need to admit,
Yeah.
there is something that we need to deal with, ask God for forgiveness, or there's something that we need to do with that.
Mm. So, moving on to the process of just filling out the chart. My next question is, maybe this is question from our friends too. So, as we fill it out, is it that the sexual sins that we commit, or is it that the sexual sin that's been done to us, or is it basically the same thing combined,
Yeah.
or it kind of overlap too with the hurt part, maybe?
We need to recognize also the boundaries is abuse.
Okay.
For example, definitely sexual sin is the one that we commit ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But if someone committed to us and we eventually kind of like agree to do it,
Yeah.
that is not abuse, right?
Okay.
But in the case of there is a threatening, there is taken for granted. For example, an abuse, sexual abuse to a young child who doesn't understand
Hmm.
anything,
Hmm.
right? Then it is considered abuse. So the line is abuse. If it is abuse, then it is not under this category. It
Oh,
will be a different category.
yeah.
This is more for that I consent
Okay.
to do this sexual activity with someone
Okay.
who is not my spouse.
Okay.
It's more that the
Okay.
boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm,
Now, it's a very vulnerable process.
mm,
And can you walk us through how you went through the chart and maybe share some
mm.
personal examples or experience?
Yeah. Um. So this process takes courage.
Yeah.
Um. It's not easy, right, to admit something that is so shameful that we did. So when I first dated my husband early on, maybe we were just dating for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the need to confess to him my sexual history, what I did with other men, my boyfriend, my ex boyfriends, basically.
Mm.
So when I was living in the US as a college student, I lived a double life. It's an embarrassment to look back. I was a Christian, a young Christian, not being discipled by anyone. So I was sleeping around with my boyfriend, actually, uh, committing sexual sin with different boyfriend and boyfriends, not one,
Mm,
boyfriends.
mm,
And I always have boyfriend all the years that I was there as a student. So never was single. It's always someone uh, that is my boyfriend. So that is also another topic. Like empty heart is always looking for love and acceptance, but in the wrong place. So I always have someone with me when I actually need to be alone and need to focus on God.
mm.
Nobody tell me at that time when I was young and foolish. So I confessed to him everything, and he was taken aback.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
shocked.
Not
He
even a month, maybe.
Not because of the length of time,
Oh,
because he's quite serious, and I
okay.
know that the intention is for marriage. So I want to be open and honest at the
I
very
see.
beginning.
Mm.
So he was shocked that not the timing, but on the audacity that
Yeah.
I brought, and the sin that I committed. So he said that I give me 3 days. Let me think about it. And then after 3 days, so we met again, and then he said that yeah. Uh, I too was committing sexual sin also, that I also experienced grace, that God forgiven me, and who am I not extending that grace to you?
Mm.
So the focus for this lesson is to admit we are at the level of inventory,
Mm.
meaning that we need to admit at this level, and even that is very difficult.
Yeah.
Even that is sometimes um,
Too shameful.
shameful and crippling us
Yeah.
that we cannot do it, right? We sometimes says that there are many women who committed sexual sin, premarital sexual, and then got pregnant, and then uh, did some abortion. They said that I will take this sin to my grave.
Mm.
That is so uh, not true, because you will be in the prison. You will keep that burden, heavy burden in your heart for the rest of your life until you go to the grave.
Mm.
While actually your testimony and God's grace can bring glory and can give hope to other people. So I think being honest about our sin, and who are we? We're sinners,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then we were young and foolish, and while we are before we are saved, even I, already a Christian, I committed so many horrible sexual sin
Yeah.
before I got married. So, and then God's grace is there to forgive me and to give me a new life again. Yeah, so be honest and open, and be courageous in doing the inventory. Do not hide, and do not kind of like leave behind, oh yeah, this one I want to admit, this one I don't want to.
Mm.
Then your freedom will be partial. Your healing will be partial. The more honest you are, the more courageous you are in doing your inventory, then the more comprehensive God's healing and freedom, and just is it will be beautiful. It will be so refreshing, so freeing. That burden will be taken away from.
Yeah. I'm into that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when as we list out everything that's in there, me, do we look at each one of them and then try to identify the idol? Or would you think that since it's sexual sin, it's usually just rooted into one? Or it, do you know? Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
usually idol of comfort.
hmm,
So usually i I heard so testimonies from men that they go into porn because they just had a very rough day,
hmm,
hard day, and they just want to kind of like release, and they just want to be comforted. So they watch porn and they masturbate, and that's how they receive comfort. So comfort, so idol of comfort, meaning they choose to comfort themselves more than they fear God.
Mm.
They know that this is something that is not right, and this is sinful, and this is sin against God.
Yeah.
So they choose to worship that, choosing that comfort rather than choosing to honor and pleasing God through exercising control, bringing that burden, that uh, hard day to God in prayer.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking the sexual sin can be the same, but the root can be different. The one that you shared just now
Mhm.
is the idol of comfort.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm thinking about a scenario whereby um this person will do the same thing, same sin, she's
Mhm.
masturbate, but it's because she felt unloved,
Mhm.
she felt lonely
Yes.
and desiring to be loved.
That's me.
And yeah,
That's why I committed all those sexual sin.
yeah,
I think at that time, my idol was acceptance, I would say.
acceptance.
Acceptance and being chosen, being wanted.
Mm,
So actually, to look back, I didn't want sex,
yeah,
but those boyfriends want it from me. But because I want their love, so it's kind of like an exchange. I give you what you want, you give me what I want
yeah,
in a sinful way, in a not God honoring
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as we look at our each sin that we write down, we also need to kind of go back and think about why did we do that? Like
That's
during
right.
that season,
That's
during
right.
that
Yeah.
season, what
Yeah.
was actually behind it?
Yes.
And
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
That will be very, very useful
Yeah,
to check whether that idol is still, we are still worshiping that idol today.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay, wow, Mimi. But as you mentioned, this topic is very tender and hard.
Yes.
Do you have any final encouragement
Mm-hmm.
for all of us? We're still reluctant in the process of their sexual
Yeah.
struggle.
I want to give the encouragement from Proverbs 28, verse 13. It says that those who admit their sin, confess their sin, will be blessed. But those who hide their sin will not receive mercy. So that verse itself is already speak for itself, that we should not live carrying that burden, secret that is hindering us from growing, from receiving mercy, God's grace, God's healing, God's freedom. Um, when we hide our sin, God is not pleased,
Mm,
and we will stay the same, stuck.
mm,
And how long do you want to wait in in that stage, stuck for the rest of your life?
yeah.
What a waste that actually Christ comes to give you abundant life in Him, abundant life, including peace, righteousness, just freedom, just joy, and fruitful life.
Mm,
And when you are not able or not willing, more not willing, not able, not willing because of afraid of the consequences, right? And especially I just came to mind just right now is that especially when you committed adultery and then you're married and you have not told your spouse, in that situation, what should you do? I think you should confess, and with godly sorrow in your heart, that not afraid of the consequences. Probably your spouse will deserted you, will cannot forgive you. I mean, that's the consequences, right? But then are you willing to surrender that consequences to God, because you truly repented, and you truly have godly sorrow? You don't care anymore what consequences, you are willing to go through that consequences to clear all this burden in your heart, because and you also have faith that God will take care of what will be the consequences if I confess this to my spouse.
mm,
Yeah. So I would say that this is the opportunity, probably, if you're doing this study, opportunity from God directly for you, second chance to clear all that and to start a new life, probably a new marriage as well.
yeah,
Yeah, a new relationship with your husband
yeah. That's very powerful.
or wife.
Thank you, me. That was very powerful, and that speaks to me personally as well.
Always my honor and privilege, Grit.
Yeah, thank you. Um, Friends, so I encourage you to take the courageous step to fill this inventory, even though it's hard and it's sensitive. But invite God to meet you and let Him meet you and every corner, every part of your story that maybe sometimes you wish you rather hide. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next lesson.